I thought I signed up for a routine engineering job on a cargo ship. What I got was a one-way ticket to a floating graveyard. The previous crew never left. They're still here, phantom figures going about their daily tasks. Their spectral presence, a constant reminder that I might be next. This isn't just a job, it's a chilling routine where the line between life and death blurs with every creak of the hull. And if you're listening to this, don't let the recruitment agency tell you the MV Acheron is just undergoing maintenance. The offer was too good to be true. That should have been my first red flag. Triple the standard hazard pay, a signing bonus that could clear my mortgage, and a contract that was suspiciously short on details. The job was simple. Oversee the engine room of a bulk carrier drifting in the South Pacific until a tugboat could arrive to tow it to port. Just keep the lights on and the bilge pumps running, the recruiter had said, his eyes refusing to meet mine. She's a skeleton crew operation. I didn't realize how literal he was being until the helicopter dropped me onto the deck and flew away before I could even grab my bag. The Acheron was a rust bucket. That's the polite way to put it. The silence hit me first. If you've ever been on a ship, you know they are noisy beasts. The hum of the generator, the wind in the rigging, the crash of waves. But here, nothing. The air was stagnant, smelling of wet copper and ozone. I found the crew quarters on the second deck. I expected to meet the captain, maybe a skeleton watch team. Instead, I found cabins with doors swinging open on broken hinges. There were clothes still folded on bunks, photos of families taped to lockers, and coffee mugs with 20 years of mold crusted inside them. It looked like everyone had vanished in the middle of a shift. I spent the first day alone, checking the vitals. The generators were running, but the fuel gauges were broken, stuck on full. That was impossible. This ship had been adrift for weeks. It wasn't until the sun went down that the real crew clocked in. I was in the galley trying to force down a ration bar when the temperature dropped. I could see my breath misting in the air. The smell of ozone was replaced by something else. Burning diesel and sea salt. Then, the door swung open. A man in a grease-stained jumpsuit walked in. He was soaking wet. Water dripped from his hair, his nose, his fingertips pooling on the floor. But he didn't look at me. He walked straight to the coffee pot, poured a cup of nothing, and sat at the table opposite me. I froze. "Hey," I stammered. "I didn't know anyone else was on board." He didn't blink. He didn't breathe. He just lifted the empty cup to his blue, bloated lips and mimed drinking. That was the first night. By the third night, I realized the ship was full of them. There was the chief engineer, a towering man with a crushed skull, who stood by the main intake valve, turning a wheel that wouldn't budge. There was the deckhand who walked the starboard railing over and over, disappearing off the edge and reappearing at the bow. They were stuck. A loop. A recording of their final moments playing out on an eternal reel. I tried to stay in the control room. I tried to lock the doors, but locks don't stop things that can walk through bulkheads. The worst part wasn't the fear, it was the routine. Humans are adaptable creatures. It is terrifying how quickly you can get used to a ghost standing in the corner of the room while you try to calibrate a pressure gauge. I started to learn their patterns. The cook starts chopping at 1800 hours. The captain paces the bridge at 0200. The screaming man, I try to avoid the cargo hold, starts at 0400. I decided to find the logbook. I needed to know what happened. Why were they still here? Why was I the only one breathing? I found it in the captain's quarters, under a layer of dust thick enough to write my name in. The final entry was dated November 14th, 1998. Coordinates confirm we have entered the anomaly. The stars are wrong. The compass spins. The crew is complaining of voices. We are carrying something we should have left in the deep. God forgive us. We aren't delivering the cargo. We are the cargo. The writing trailed off into frantic scribbles. That's when I realized the truth. The Acheron didn't sink. It didn't crash, it just stopped. It sailed into a patch of ocean where time doesn't work right, and it got stuck. And now, I was part of the ecosystem. The psychological toll is getting heavier. Yesterday, I caught myself nodding at the chief engineer when I walked past him. He stopped turning the wheel. He looked at me. For the first time in 2 weeks, a ghost made eye contact. He pointed at his wrist, tapping a watch that wasn't there. Time is running out. I've tried the radio. It works, but all I hear is static and occasionally
A voice that sounds exactly like mine, screaming for help. I've tried the lifeboats. They are welded to the davits, rusted solid. And now I'm starting to feel cold all the time. No matter how many layers I wear, the chill is in my bones. I looked in the mirror this morning, and for a second, I couldn't see my reflection. I just saw the rust on the wall behind me. I think the ship is digesting me. I think the maintenance job wasn't to fix the engines. It was to replace the parts that were wearing out. The spirits are fading, losing their energy. They need fresh batteries. I'm the battery. I'm recording this on the emergency satellite uplink. I don't know if it will reach anyone, but if you see a job posting for the MV Acheron, or if you see a ship on the horizon that doesn't appear on any radar, turn your boat around, because the crew is dead, but they are still working, and I think I just clocked in for the eternity shift.